Welcome everyone. Welcome to my channel. So today in this session we are going to cover about migrating WCF services to PaaS. In this use case, now we are going to discuss and do a demonstration on Web API. We'll see how to create a Web API and how to host it in Azure App Services, and then different ways to consume these particular services. So WebAPI is like it is built on the top of ASP.NET WebAPI, which is built on the top of the .NET framework, and it's a powerful platform for building your APIs. This is a HTTP thing. So now let's quickly go and discuss and create a WebAPI. So the prerequisite software is I'm using Visual Studio 2017 and WebAPI. So let's quickly go and create a Web API. So I've already opened Visual Studio and I'm going to create a new Web API project. So for that you can go to Web. You can select Web, this one. Mm, you can go to desktop. So okay, so I've selected this particular path and I'm going to create a Web API. So I'll take here the empty one and we'll select Web API over here. This is what we are going to select, and I'll say okay. Okay, so the template has been loaded. So this is the structure of your Web API, where you have a model classes, and then you will have a controller. We'll add the class business logic over here, and then we will add the controller in the controller file. So fine. So let's take this model class. You create a model class. We'll take add class. So let's make it here. Let's create a products class. I'm saying a products class. I'm taking the sample provided in the web. So let's copy and paste this particular this one. So I'm taking this a few. I'm creating a class and then a few properties, so on. So let's save this. Let's create a controller class for this, where we'll provide some empty data, and we'll be using Web API 2 controller, which will be a empty template we'll take, and we'll add certain values over there. So let's go and add this controller class. I'll take Web API to controller and say OK, and let's create products controller. So the class products controller class has been created. So we are going to add this products over here, some few properties, I mean values. Let's refactor it. Fine. So now we have created this. I enable get all products. We are saying it will return all the products over here, which is the base version over here. And finally we have another request which is saying get product on the basis of product ID. So fine, that's it. I mean our web API is ready with one model class and model controller class. Let's build it. Yeah, build is success. Now let's run this particular Firefox in Firefox. So fine. So this has come, and now you need to provide the path. So now here you will see the two controller methods has been created. One is your get all products, and it will have a URI. So we'll put a URI over here and say API, and then we'll say products. So this is what you can see over here. So in this URI you are getting all the products, and we have also created another method. So that is your products, and the syntax will be you need to provide some product ID, maybe 123, like that. So this is how you're going to work with the web API, where you have a URL, and for each method there will be a controller, and there will be a controller method, and it will be accessed through your URI. So now we have deployed, your web API is running locally. Now let's go and create a client where we'll go and access this particular web API, and then we'll go and publish to Azure, and then again consume this particular web API. So for this, there will be several methods to consume and test this particular thing. You can also do like, if you want to test this particular methods and all, you can test in either HTML using your some JSON get JSON thing, or you can write your own console application where you will be consuming this. So first, I'm going to call this web API with JavaScript and jQuery. So where I've already developed a HTML page that uses your Ajax to call the web API, and we will also use the jQuery to make the Ajax calls and also to update the page with the result. So just to save time, I'll use the existing code. So before that, you need to add one HTML page. We'll say add new item, and then we'll say web, and we'll add one HTML page. We'll say HTML page client, you can say, and local. So I'll copy and paste here the complete code, which is going and accessing your web API and displaying the data. Okay, so let's go through let's have a quick review on this particular code. So this is the generic HTML thing. So now in the URI I have kept it API products, and then as I said, there are several ways to get this client to work to test your web API. So for jQuery also there are several ways to get the jQuery. In our example, I'm using Microsoft Ajax CDN. You can also use, and you can also download it from http query jquery.com, and some other templates. So now let's go and see this particular thing, like how you are getting the complete products, I mean get all the products. So we are to get all the products, we are sending the http get request to API products, which is the first statement over here, and then in jQuery get JSON, in this particular URI we are sending the Ajax request, and for the response it contains array of JSON object, and finally and we have also we have a done method which specifies a callback that is called if the request is successful. In this callback we update the DOM with the product information. So you can see we are writing over here on success all the products in the DOM. So this is what the first one is, and then in the below you can see it is writing about the product item and prices. So the second method is find, where we are getting the product by product ID. We are sending HTTP request to get product and then ID value, which we saw in the browser, and using this we are getting the details. Now let's quickly run this particular application. Now here we go. So these are the product listings which has come over here, and we can search from here and get the details. So this is one way of doing. Now let's quickly go to the page, I mean let's quickly deploy this particular application. to Azure and see how it works, and then from there we will be using calling this particular thing. So I'm going to publish this particular web API using app services. I've already created another one, so I'll give a different name over here. uh, let's give a different name over here. Service plan, as per your requirement. I mean, you can keep the basic one, and let's create this and publish this to Azure app services. So now we can see our it is still publishing. You can see the progress. So here we go. So it has been published. I mean, web API demo 2 Azure websites.net. It has been published. Let's go and quickly see. uh, okay, so this is our app service which is running. Now let's access this using this URL products. Now you can see this particular items you are able to access. This is a very normal basic one where we have not provided any authentication and all, and we are simply walking through how to create a web API and to host it in Azure. uh, and the use case was our WCF migration to Azure and different options. So okay, now we can see this is working now. Let's close this and let's have a quick overview on this particular web API. It comes into the same API app services. You can, if you are familiar with web apps, you can see all these settings which is similar. Now the interesting thing will be your API management. I mean API, let's go to the API definition where you can access this particular API definition. You can copy this and you can work with this. We also have another demo for API apps where we can go and compare this web API and API apps. Now let's quickly go to the console application and try to access this particular application uh, and see how it works. So this time I'm not going to use this HTML client, and I'm going to use this console application which will access your web API. I've created this web API. Now in order to use this web API you need to use a package, a NuGet package. So we'll install that and then we'll use a code to call your web API. So here we'll search for Microsoft. I mean ASP.NET web API dot client. So we'll use over here and install it. Now it has been added. So let's quickly go and add a code. Now we are using 4.0 HTTP client. We are going to use systemnet HTTP client, and here we need to add a reference to our products, which is our web API products. Yeah, it is done. Yeah, just to save time, so I have added this code where we are using that HTTP client to call our base address. So we are creating an object with HTTP client, and we have assigned the base address of the web API. Then we are taking this async get async method which sends an HTTP get request to the specified URL, and this get asynchronous is a asynchronous call and it returns a task. Now we have something like a response task dot wait wait, which suspends the execution until your get execution method completes the execution and returns a result. Once the execution is done, and we got a code like if success code is success, and then we read the content by using read async thing for all the products, and we take all the variables. Right now we are taking only the products from this particular code, and then for each loop we are showing in the console. So this is the walkthrough of the code. Now let's quickly run this particular code. So now using this, I shown you like how to create your web API and publish to the app service, and to consume this web API through your console application or your JSON or jQuery client. In the next demo, we are going to cover your API apps, and then we'll also do a comparative study between your web API and API apps. So thanks for watching. Do click on like button if you find this demo useful for you. Thanks for watching. Bye.